It's great that you are here and this package went out really quickly. Thank you again to the team. As soon as I saw that the item was available online, I immediately ordered it and off went the package. So here I am to quickly show you what the new dry gun from Chemicalworkz has to offer. If you're wondering, so what about Chemicalworkz? Well, a lot is coming onto the market, and that's why there's simply a lot to test and a lot to show. Let's take a look at the dry gun with features with accessories and everything that goes with it. Wait, 6 can open the package here. So here we have the good piece right here in its original packaging, Chemicalworkz dryer. So this is the new dry gun here from Chemicalworkz. Let me tell you a little story about it. Well, Oscar contacted me, but that must have been, I don't know, maybe a year ago or something like that. I didn't check the date again exactly. Oscar contacted me and said, Sebastian, a drying gun is actually really cool. What is there? What can be improved? What should one pay attention to? What is also crucial for handling? And this is how the partnership works, for example, between me and Washing Cucumber or between me and Oscar. So we are really on the phone a lot and exchanging ideas. What do you want? As users, what feedback can I simply pass on? From your side as well, based on my experience, Andreas also just gives his feedback to improve potential products in the future in terms of equipment. And then, of course, it is also ensured that the price is really the minimum that is feasible. And that is Oscar's job. He has to take care of that. And if I simply recall how it actually started, he said, Sebastian, which dryer gun do you like? And those who look closely will recognize that I have seen an Illis model before, but there are definitely differences. And these differences arise from experience, from the sharing of Andreas's experience as well, and also from your experience, and that simply results in something like this. Now let's stop unpacking the devices. 230 volts, 50 hertz, 1300 watts, 1.5 horsepower, 2 speed levels, and all of this is really, really powerful. So let's start with the accessories. We have various nozzles available. This too, and now we come to the first point. This plastic at the front is great. Super, super soft. In case you bump into something, it won't cause any scratches. You can also see here that it compresses really nicely, but in a way that it still holds stable. If you design it too soft here, I really want to give you this information to think about what you need to consider and what you also need to test when you have a prototype, for example. If everything here is too soft, too flexible, and this is already quite flexible, if it's too flexible, you just do this, and the thing flies around, then it becomes a projectile. So, a compromise must always be found between elasticity, in case you accidentally come into contact with the paint somewhere, logically, and stability. There are 3 nozzles included, a round nozzle, a wide flat nozzle, and a narrower one. Just try out what works better for you, what generates the necessary pressure, and we will also test it on the vehicle right away. So, now tell me here, I'm making it super exciting again. I'm telling you, huh? Where is the dry gun? This system might seem familiar to you. And there is a good reason for that. It is a detachable cable, because it allows you to expand the entire system. How should I put it delicately? With other things. And you have the opportunity, and whoever now says, huh, Sebastian, I know that cable here from the last videos. This is the same cable, the same connection as the polishing machines. This means that if you already have the polishing machines or one of the new ones with the cable, because the cable is 5 meters long, and here we have an 8-meter cable with the polishing machines. This means that if you have it somehow in your garage, and that's why this system builds everything on top of each other, if you already have a cable hanging somewhere in your garage or washing area, you can simply say, okay, I don't need to unwrap the dryer again and wrap it up and put it back in the cabinet. No? You just take the dryer in your hand, use the cable from your polishing machine, and off you go. And that's just the complete system. We also have a description included here. This is what it looks like. It has a sort of XXL hairdryer vibe. You can see the whole beautiful large body here. Also, there are no additional brackets that get in the way. That was another point. It should be as compact as possible. There shouldn't be any extra brackets. And now we can simply attach the nozzle. The whole thing is in a metallic, I don't know if it comes across through the camera, in a metallic gray anthracite finish. It's really very, very nicely done. And of course, it's 2-stage. I can even plug it into the other cable now. But I don't want to shoot forward here right now because then it might push the camera over or everything here might fly away. I think I need to do it upwards. So we connect the cable down here. This is now the one from the polishing machines. It works just the same. With a click closure, it can't be removed again. Except you click here on the small button, and just like that, it works here now. And now let's take a quick look at the operation of the whole thing. So, in stage 1, it already has a proper base. What I also communicated to Oscar was that it needs to be able to stand really well. It's logical that the part doesn't stand like this because it is extremely top heavy. But you can set this up properly here now and also cleanly on different points. You can see these 4 white points back here, and you can see this stand down here. And that is just the point. It can be placed securely and stably. It doesn't wear down any casing. The grid back here doesn't get worn down. The paint doesn't come off in any way, but it stands here on this really nice, soft, white. Rubber feet are. These are just small details that make the overall package feel very high quality. And that's what matters. So here is the standpoint, and here are the 4. And just like that, you can set it up easily. You can place it somewhere in your preparation hall or washing hall, mount the cable, or leave the cable attached depending on how you want it. And then it begins. Basically, there isn't much to say about a dryer. You want to see the thing in action. Just one more thing before that. Johan also sent this to me right here via video. Sebastian, you have to check it out. It's really cool. Back here is the filter area where the air is drawn in. It's really nice and solid back here. Very, very cool, and also painted again. This is not just plastic in its base form, so to speak. It's also in a dark color. Is it already black? Black metallic. Also painted again. And here's the insert for the filter air. You can remove that. And if it should get a bit dusty, perhaps because you are also doing some painting or have a lot of dust from sanding, you can simply take it out and clean it or rinse it with water and then let it dry before putting it back in. Here is the little nose, which means we go up here. Exactly, plaque and plaque tight. So, now stage 1, I'll move it up a bit so the camera doesn't get blown away here. Stage 1. Stage 1. Stage 2. Please don't replicate this. I just wanted to give you a little impression. Now we're going into the car. In case you didn't see it, the bottle is full of water. This is not an empty plastic bottle. It is full. Because we need a little water on the surface now. And we now have areas on the vehicle where the sealant is already a bit... you can see it here. There isn't much sealant left. And we have areas that are still working really well. And you need to maintain those wonderfully. I haven't checked again in between either. It was a complete surprise that it's still in such good condition here. Also on the side, this is the Sonax CSV. Whatever is still on here, even if I pour some water here now, I don't think much more water will remain. You see, everything is basically running smoothly. You wouldn't really have more on it after a wash. So, now everyone take cover. I need to put the cable back first. Now let's take a look at this, shall we? Should we start with stage 1 first? I'll start with stage 1. I'll spray from the side so I don't blow everything onto the windshield. So that was stage 1. And now I'm going to make it a bit wetter again. Stage 1, folks, is, in my opinion, the stage for details like mirrors. You can, of course, also blow out crevices and such with stage 2. But if you get a bit closer, the water will splash back in your face, because the pressure at stage 2 is a whole different world. And that's why stage 1 is for details here. For the grill, that's enough. You can get much closer there. We will also go to another spot. But here on the hood and roof, people, full throttle. I'm going to head over here. So there is simply nothing better, especially in high-end detailing or for someone who says, I really want the gentlest drying. For me, there is nothing gentler. You can't just say, I'll dry it somehow with heat or something, because then you'll end up with spots again. There's really nothing better than drying with air. It's just the way it is. No microfiber cloth can compete with that. And that's why, once again, I will mention it in the conclusion. But for now, if you have the opportunity to dry your vehicle, whether in your detailing process, in your wash bay, or even at home, you must decide for yourself if that is possible and how you want to do it. But it is not forbidden to dry your car at home. And this is just the gentlest thing there is, especially for sensitive paints. It's really absolutely awesome. We're going to take another look at this now. I hope I can show this a bit here. I have spray water on the dirty paint. That's why you can see that the water behavior here is rather poor. There's a thick film of water. The dirt is still on the front here. Get rid of as much water as possible, as much as sticks to it. I would definitely recommend using stage 2 here. For now, I'll start with stage 1. I want to see how well that works first. So, stage 1. So at stage 1, if you get about 15 to 20 centimeters close and blow downwards, it dries this area completely, even on the dirty paint. Look here. I don't know if you can see that. I already removed the traffic film with my finger. So, even if the paint isn't sealed and is still dirty, stage 1 is enough to comfortably blow it off from a bit of a distance, which was about 15. But more like 20, you can definitely blow it off. I'll go all the way down. Yes. So, it works logically, folks. If you have such a resistance here because the water is sticking, just use stage 2. So, full power ahead. And perfect. And here you can also decide, as mentioned, stage 1 or 2, whichever suits you better, also in terms of speed. We can first test stage 1 to see if that is sufficient. So, it is definitely, even with stage 1, more than enough. And with stage 2, that shouldn't be a problem at all. Here, let's fill these cracks nicely with a bit of water. Now, let's go full throttle here. So really very, very nice and completely dry. All the crevices blown free. That's how it should be. What I just noticed again during use is that you can simply use it from the nozzle. Grab the dryer and place it wonderfully on the floor. Then lift it again by the nozzle and take it back in hand. So I just set it down like this because it is really stable here. It doesn't completely go down or slide off. You can also lift it up here. You can also see here that if you want to take it off again, you really have to move it back and forth properly. This means that this here is really quite stable. It doesn't just click off at the front, it's really well made. So do I still have my window open over there for ventilation? No. Good. So, stage 2. So even on an unsealed surface, it is really completely sufficient to dry something like that. The roof works really well here, so that's working out. For drying in the hall, I think it's a nice thing. So this is really a nice tool that expands the Chemicalworkz range. Again, it has the detachable cable. As mentioned, this was from the polishing machine and is original. You have the 5 meters included here. Overall, it's a nice package. The whole thing costs a standard price of 99 euros, I believe. You surely have discount codes and such from the community. I also find that in terms of workmanship, this is the first model that I am holding in my hand that is, so to speak, finally produced. I am seeing it here together with you for the first time, and it fits. No gaps, nothing that creaks. So it's super robust. Even if I shake the handle a bit, there's nothing that makes noise. My Mercedes creaks more in the navigation area. I also find this part in the front great. When the part is standing on the ground, as I just said, you pick it up with your hand, just like that. Or you can even lift it with your left hand. You don't have to reach underneath because you know, oh man, if I pull from the front, then clack, it will fall down. It is. I only touch up here, not I press down here. For me, that is also very, very important with such a product. And if that works, great. These are all just small details. And such a device must work in today's time, early 2024. That's why it's a nice overall package. Share your experiences. Do you also use something like this? Of course, it's a bit difficult at the self-service box, logically, so you don't need to write in the comments, but I can only wash at the self-service box. I think we'll see what the future brings. But here for everyone with a washing hall, with the possibility of somehow washing in a room, or was it always about processing? I think that is really very, very nice. And above all, for a very, very good price in this product category. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, because what more can I show you about the dryer than the application I have already demonstrated to you? Try out the different nozzles. As for the processing, there isn't much to say, except that it shouldn't be directed at people or other living beings. And regarding the power, you've also seen, I believe that's more than sufficient. Until then, folks, take care, and I wish you a nice day. Until next time. Bye.